All right, it's another day, another time for a SheShed edition. I'm super excited to have you all here. I'm even more excited to have my guest with me today. Before we get started and I bring him into the room, I just want to remind everybody of what we're doing this month. This is October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I wanted to bring resources to you that can help you, whether you are in an abusive or domestic violence situation, or if you know someone that is in one. And it is very key that we make sure that we have the tools that we need in order to be the best version of ourselves. And if you're not equipped with what you need, you will fall into a situation that you may not be able to get out of. And I don't say that lightly. I say that with everything in my body. Maybe it could be that you are just entangled in a situation that you can't get out of, or maybe you are in a situation or someone you know is in a situation that could take their life. And it's important. We need to make sure that we are providing and we know what to do and how to respond. So, one of the things that I know without a shadow of a doubt is when you are in any kind of situation to where it is causing any kind of mental stress on you, you need to have a plan. You need to have something in place to where you not only do you know what it looks like when you are spiraling, but that you can also help someone to help you so that they know when you're spiraling. So today's guest is Mr. Elliott Palmer Jr. And Elliott is the founder and lead facilitator of his own business, and it is Answer. And Answer stands for a new start while recovering, while empowering recovery. Um, I met Elliott when I was doing my peer support certification and training to be a peer support. And he made an impact on me in the way that it was one of those things to where you knew that one, you was getting information that was going to help you, that was going to strengthen you, and that was going to empower you. And as someone that is constantly empowering other people, it was refreshing. And I just kind of was like, okay, I think I like him. I love the fact that not only does he do peer support, but he is a trainer for RAP, which is Wellness Recovery Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And he has trained hundreds of individuals in both peer support and RAP. And Elliot is one of those people that you want on your team. And I think it's an honor to call him my friend. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull him out of the green room and I'm going to let him tell us a little bit about himself. And then we're going to dive into all my questions that I have for him. So, y'all hold on. Let me get him out in the green room. Mr. Elliott.
Hey, hey.
Hey. Long time no see.
Yeah.
I'm super excited that you said yes because you could have very easily said no. I would have cried and pouted, but you could have.
Yeah.
So you heard me give a little spiel on what I see, those things that anybody can find on the internet about you. But tell us a little bit about Mr. Elliott.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. A little bit about Elliot. I am first and foremost a person in long-term recovery, and what that means to me today is that um, I found a way to recapture my life and become an asset not only to myself, my family, my friends, but the community as a whole. And it also means that I haven't found a reason to use a drink or drug in 10 years now. Along that way, once I recaptured my life, uh, I felt obligated. I felt a calling to help others, um, to recapture their lives and to maintain their wellness. And so today, as you said earlier, I'm I'm one of the North Carolina certified trainers for peer support, trained peer support specialist. I'm an advanced level RAP facilitator. So not only do I conduct RAP classes to individuals, but I also teach people to teach RAP classes. Community inclusion trainer, first aid CPR instructor, uh, recovery coach, trainer, blah 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 blah. And in the midst of all of this, I started my own agency because a lot of people that receive support of any type for mental health issues or for substance use are those that have Medicaid or have insurance. And there's a lot of people out here that could use some support that don't have those type of insurances. So that's why I created Answer. Answer stands for, as you said, a new start while empowering recovery, and describes me and what I'm doing with my life. Um, I don't know what else to say. I'm single. I had to throw that out there, you know.
I know you did. I know you did. That's
I'm
okay.
the
That's okay.
father of one, have a daughter in college. Um, and other than that, I'm just a person just trying to do my part to help the world to be a better place for us all.
And you're doing that. I mean, hands down, you're doing that. So, but I wanted to make sure, wanted to ask, and so somebody would say, well, what does any of that have to do with domestic violence, right?
All
And
right.
so, one of the things I don't know if you remember when I was in in the training, that is one of the things that was one of the questions I asked, and I loved your answer. You said, peer support is peer support. People need peer support. They need someone to support them in where they are at the moment, and it can actually help anyone. And that really helped me um, to kind of realize and understand one is why I'm here. So, what exactly to you is peer support? If you had to give it a definition, what's peer support for those? It's like, well, what is it?
Okay, so for one, well, the first definition of peer support, and then I'll tie it in for you. Peer support is people with lived experience from mental health or substance use issue that are in recovery that are able to help others going through mental health issues and substance use disorders, and to speak from a perspective of been there, done that. They're able to empathize and relate to the feelings and emotions and things in the general barriers and um, things that are stopping people or preventing people from getting the help they need. Now, what does that have to do with domestic violence? Domestic violence is very traumatic. Uh, those that are victims of domestic violence or experiencing domestic violence, they're going through a traumatic time. That's a mental illness, trauma itself, and in the need to resolve or deal with their domestic violence or to recover from the domestic violence, they have to find ways to cope, find ways to recover. That is something that you're in recovery from. When people speak of being in recovery, that doesn't mean from drug addiction.
That's right.
Recovery is recapturing your life, being able to live a self-directed life, being able to uh, chase your goals and your dreams, and to live the life that you envision. And being involved in domestic violence, all of that's prevented. We deal with issues such as low self-worth, low self-esteem, feelings of depression, feelings of anxiety, and there's a need to recover from those things. Um, so that being said, with the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, it gives me a way to deal with those issues because just the basic definition of trauma um, itself is an event that overwhelms a person's ability to cope. And here is someone in a domestic violence situation doesn't know which way to go, what to do, which way is up, which way is down, which way is in, which way is out, and um, by having a plan to address those feelings, to address those issues, to move forward and to get out of those situations. And then
Mhm.
after getting out of those situations, you still have to deal with the trauma and the feelings and things that you experienced during those times. And so it's very
Mhm.
important, where rap comes in, and rap is beneficial, um, helping you to understand yourself, your feelings, your emotions, and how to move forward and recapture your life and recapture your wellness.
Right. I like that. I like what you said about because a lot of times people think that when we talk about recovery, that like you said, is we're talking about drugs or alcohol or something like that. But mental health is there. That is an ongoing recovery point too. And it's very key that we keep that in our mind as we're going through expect this interview and anything else that you may hear this month when we're talking about domestic violence. Those individuals may be out, but they're still in recovery from something.
All right.
They're
Yeah, and
still in recovery. Go ahead.
yeah, and think about it. When you go to the hospital and you have operation, you go into recovery. Because being in the hospital is traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
That's one type
Mm-hmm.
of trauma, invasive medical procedures. And so
Mm-hmm.
it all
Mm-hmm.
ties in. And I want people to understand when it says RAP, Wellness Recovery Action Plan, it doesn't say drug recovery action plan. It doesn't say schizophrenic recovery action plan. It doesn't say heroin recovery action plan, alcohol recovery action plan, depression recovery action plan, these children getting on my nerves recovery action plan. It doesn't say any of that. Uh, it says wellness recovery action plan. And it's good. It doesn't say any of those particular things, but it's good for all of those things. So rap is for everyone. Rap is good for everyone. And that's one reason I chose that as my field of expertise, because we can all use rap.
How would a person use rap?
How would a person use rap? Well, rap is basically, it starts off with, first a person recognizing the things necessary to maintain or achieve wellness. Things such as being able to find hope, being able to take personal responsibility, educating themselves about themselves, um, learning to self advocate, speak up for yourself and your rights, those things you want and need, and also having support.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, you move from there, and then people develop their wellness toolbox. Those things that you have in your life that contribute to your wellness, and from there you learn to identify your triggers, things that make you feel uncomfortable, have feelings of anger or feelings of distress, on to learning what your early warning signs are, that things are still bothering you, and then identifying when things are breaking down and having an action plan to address all of those issues when they come up, so that you're not caught unawares and you have a way to tackle them before they get to be a crisis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's that point where we start experiencing those negative consequences. So if we have a plan to address those issues before we get there, we have much, much greater chance in our life to continue moving forward and be successful, and not have those setbacks that set us all the way back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then following that, the RAP program helps a person, and I heard you talking about it earlier, but you develop your own crisis plan so that when a crisis does happen, I'm able to develop a plan to show people how to help me. That's the way I'm able to have some input on my care or treatment when I can't speak up for myself or handle responsibilities on my own. So now, I can go to the hospital and focus on getting well and not have to worry about all the other, or I can be in this domestic violence situation, and I already have a plan in place to let everybody know how to help me, what they can do to help. In other words, just leave my way of leaving some instructions to tell people how to help me when I can't speak up for myself. And it's a
I like
great
that.
plan. Yeah, it's great. Um, I'm able to plan out where my kids are going to stay. I'm able to plan out, um, who I want to get my mail, who I want to pay my bills, who I want to keep my pets, which hospitals or institutions I prefer. what treatments work for me, what doesn't work for me, my medications, my doctors. I'm able to plan all of that out and leave instructions. And I heard you earlier saying um, having some people in my corner. That's where that support is. And say if I develop my own rap plan, and then I take that crisis plan and say I make some copies and give it to two or three people that I can trust, not my cheerleaders, but people that I can trust to do tasks that I ask them to do for me. And I can leave this to two or three people and say, hey, if anything ever happens to me, bring this to wherever I'm being treated. This is not a wheel
Mm-hmm,
because I'm
mm-hmm.
still here. I'm
Right,
letting you know what you can do to help me now.
right.
And so, and this is where rap is so beneficial. And if everybody in the world had one, we'd have a chance to recover much more quickly. We'd have a chance to be more successful in our lives. And like I say, it's better to have a plan and not need it than need a plan and not have it.
I get it. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Because I think that what people don't realize, I'm definitely one for therapy. I think therapy is a great thing. But I also think, and I can see how the rap can actually help in a therapeutic type of way, because like you said, they may be trying to lead you through something that don't work for you, right?
Yeah.
And then you set back,
Yeah.
or maybe I like what you said when you was talking about, so that somebody know where my kids need to go, what mail, where to put my mail, and when you need when I need that help. Because sometimes we don't need the help. We just need to know that someone is there to help.
All right. Now,
So
and so my crisis plan, you know, dictates and lets people know when I need that help. Until I put on my crisis plan. When you see these signs, that's when somebody else needs to take over. Okay,
yes,
when you come over my house and you see that my kids are being neglected, somebody needs to take over. If I got black eyes and I keep coming up with excuses and keep saying I fell down, it's time for somebody else to take over. And we need to let people know these things and let them know um, when I need help, because a lot of times, say domestic violence situations, that's one of the issues. We don't know how to let people know, or we're afraid to let people know. And then, if I'm in the middle of a crisis, I may not even know what I need to share with people or what to do. So a crisis plan in the rap is something that I put together when I'm well. I don't wait until I'm in the middle of a crisis to put together a crisis plan. This is a plan I can put together when I'm well, so that if something ever happens, people know how to help me.
yeah. I'm glad you said that, because you're gonna have somebody out there saying, well, this is where I'm at right now. You need to, like you said, you need to do it when things are good.
Yeah,
When
and the
things
thing
are
about
good.
it, and Tina, the hope is that no one will ever need their crisis plan.
Right.
And but this is something we want to put together just so we're prepared. And
Right.
I hope that no one ever needs their plan.
Right. 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 And I think, and also not being ashamed of having a plan.
No, we should never be ashamed of having a plan. We
Yeah.
wake up in the morning with a plan for how we're going to go to work. We have our plan for how we're going to pay rent and pay how we're going to try to reach some of our goals. So one of our goals also, if we, to not only be concerned about caring for ourselves, but caring for our families and the friends and those that depend on us, we need to have a plan so that so that we're taken care of, so that enables us to help and take care of others, our loved ones.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, just paying little Mary's, making sure her dance lessons are paid for, and making sure she's in the Girl Scouts is fine. But I need to make sure that I maintain my wellness so that I can continue to be that person that little Mary counts on.
That's good. That's good. That's right. And I think that, one of the other things, and one of the reasons why I really wanted to bring this out um, in this setting, is because For me, I'll speak for myself. I'm being transparent for like 2.5 seconds.
Okay.
Um, one on my plan is, if I tell people, if you start seeing me making plans and then canceling them at the last minute,
Mm.
or I'm not my upbeat self, check on me. Check on me. Do a real check. Tina, how are you? And then ask me, how are you really? Because I'm probably going to say, I'm fine. Do an
Hmm.
extra check. Do an
Yeah.
extra check. And don't feel like you can't. Because listen, when you in those situations, you're manipulative
All right.
and you cover it up.
And the thing about it, Tina, one and like I'm giggling because you said I'm fine. We actually had a campaign last year to bring about awareness of people needing to share and advocate for themselves and speak up. And the name of the campaign was "I'm hashtag I'm fine," because that's what everybody says. How you doing? I'm fine.
Mhm.
But my husband, I'm at home and going through some domestic violence. I'm fine. My bills aren't paid. I'm fine. I'm depressed. I'm fine. I'm drinking too much. In the quote words for everybody is I'm fine, but they don't say the little stuff in parentheses. And this the rap plan is one of those things that helps people recognize when we say I'm fine, but they can see we're not fine.
Mhm.
Okay, and we want to
Mhm.
make sure we this is a way for us to help ourselves. One thing I wanted to mention too, um, giving your audience, and yes, this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but I also want to remind people this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month also, and this is where rap is beneficial to all of us going through any type of traumas or things and crises in our life, and having a plan for these things so that we can focus on getting well versus focusing on the things that, and it gives others this is a plan that lets others know what they can do to help. A lot of people
Mhm.
have good intentions, but like you said earlier, they don't realize what they're doing is making things worse.
Absolutely.
And so it's very important for us to let people know how to help us. You know,
Mm.
um, and that way, I don't. That's something I don't have to worry about. I can focus on my prayer. I can focus on taking my medicine like I'm supposed to, and everybody else
Right.
can take care of the rest.
Right. Right. That's big. You're right. Like I was talking to someone earlier, and I was saying how, when if you're running through the airport and you're late for your about to be late for your plane, it's hard to carry your luggage and somebody else's luggage, right?
Mm,
And so when you're sitting there and you have your wrap plan, now you can just focus on your pocketbook or your carry-on. You don't have to carry all the other stuff. Someone is there to help you with that. And I think
right.
that it's very important that we say it very lightly, but we need to give a real picture. And imagine running down the runway with all this baggage trying to get to a plane. Now,
Yeah.
imagine running through life in recovery and having to think about everything else. And I think that that's one of the problems. We don't know how to prioritize our own wellness.
And when we're running through life with all that baggage, when we're running through the airport, or when we're in a domestic violence situation, and people ask us, "How you doing?" What's our answer?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Okay. And we don't even realize when we come back with that answer saying I'm fine. The reason we're doing that is because we're in a state of denial. And a lot of people think denial just pertains to, once again, substance use. No, we're in a state of denial. And if you don't know what denial means, here, take my definition: DENIAL. Don't even know I am lying.
I
Exactly. Here it is. I'm telling a lie and I don't even know I'm lying. I'm telling a lie that I believe. Doesn't matter if you
like
believe
that.
it or not, but I'm fine. That's denial.
I
You know,
like that. Don't even know that I'm lying.
yeah, I don't even know I am lying. That's right. Yeah.
That
And
is
so,
so true.
yeah.
So
And
true.
so, and so this is where rap comes. Rap is beneficial. I do it, like I said, I do it when I'm well. So I do it when I'm not in a state of lying. And I put it on paper. I let my supporters have it, and so my supporters can see what I wrote, and they recognize when the I'm fine that's lying.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's a bunch of manipulation that go into that, and sometimes it's not intentional, but it's there. Like you said, you
yeah,
don't even know. You don't realize that you're doing these things, or that you done said no and canceled a million times. You're sad, don't know you're sad. You're depressed, don't know you're depressed.
that's right.
Somebody need to be able to identify that when you can't, right?
Yeah, and so
So
yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Mm-mm, go ahead.
And so with providing a plan, with developing my own plan, um, I'm able to put down those things that help me and those that don't help. When we talk about support, support doesn't always look like, as you mentioned earlier, support isn't always therapy. Support could be my supporters could be support could be in the form of my pastor. Support could be in the form of my best friend, my sister, my mother, my brother, the lady down at the corner store, the man, the woman that runs the the recreational center down the street.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
it's important to find supporters, people that genuinely care about you, that have your best interests in mind. And support can be also in our community resources. And I'm sure you all share some resources in the community for domestic violence. One big resource we have here in our country, in this area, in Wake County or central North Carolina, is Interact. Interact is a domestic violence shelter. So you, your kids, you're able to go and seek a safe place to stay, to recapture life, and to work on your plan.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we need to be connected with all the community resources, resources for food, resources for housing, so that people know that they have a choice. They have choices when they get in these situations, and it's
Right.
not a be all end all.
I think that sometimes, we get to that point to where we just think that we can handle it.
Hmm.
We can handle it. I got this, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and we just you've been in that situation so long that you don't even realize that you are as deep in it as you are. So if you were dealing with someone that is in that, not in domestic violence, just in recovery as a whole, or needing help with wellness, um, how would you suggest? What would you suggest? What would be your steps? When would you suggest that they actually start thinking about that plan? I know we already said when things are good, but what if things aren't good? How do you deal with that?
Okay, so what I would suggest is for everyone to come on to answer and take a class and develop your own wellness recovery action plan. As I said, the action plan has two parts to it. One is the first part is the action plan, which is where I identify my triggers, my early warning signs, my toolbox, develop my toolbox, and those things, and I come up with an action plan to address issues when they happen. And that's my daily maintenance plan. Things I need to do every day to stay well. What I look like when I'm well, and I address those things on a daily basis so I maintain my wellness. Then I have a plan called the crisis plan, which is a separate part that comes into play when I'm not well.
Right.
Okay. And so by having those two things, we have thing in place for ourselves. Just to give you an idea of how it works. Um, so when I experience a trigger, in other words, I experience something that makes me feel uncomfortable, have feelings of anger, feelings of distress. You know, Getting in confrontations with someone, or um, noticing my weight gain, or just something that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I go to my action plan and I go to my toolbox and see what it is I have in my toolbox to help me deal with that issue. Maybe what's in my toolbox is to start walking. Maybe it's to read the Bible. Maybe it's to meditate. Maybe it's a good warm bowl of soup. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that might make me feel better. But then later on, I experience an early warning sign. In other words, I see a sign that indicates to me that something that happened earlier is still bothering me. Things
Right.
like I keep playing the situation over and over in my head. That's a
Right.
sign that lets me know that I didn't resolve the issue. So I go back to my action plan and I see what it is I need to do to go ahead and square and resolve that issue.
Right.
And if I, that gives me two chances to handle whatever my issues are, so that next thing I know, there are signs that indicate to me that things have got much worse, um, or the situation is bad,
Yes.
and that's the place where we start experiencing those negative consequences. That's the place where I quit my job. I curse out somebody that didn't need to be cursed out. I you know I I make those decisions that are life changing. That's
Yes.
where I like to say the universal term of things breaking down is whenever I say F it. You ever
Yeah.
catch yourself saying F it? The situation's got much worse and things are breaking down right now. Or I take
True.
that attitude of I don't care, I don't
Yeah.
care. Hold your voice down. We in church. I don't care. The pastor need to hear this too. You know, yeah, things are breaking down at that point,
Yeah.
and so I need to have that's the time when I need to call for help,
Yeah.
call, yeah, and all of these things, play a part in our wellness. And I think our communities and everybody needs to realize that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to seek
Absolutely.
support. A lot of us, I know for myself, a lot of times, even being in domestic violence situations, I don't want to tell anybody because I don't want anybody to think badly of me. I don't want anybody to know that I don't have the perfect family. I don't want everybody to know or be all in my business. See, when I do stuff like that, I'm running on ego. And just to
That's
give you a
right.
couple of my other little definitions, ego, easing God out. Don't worry, I got this,
Mm.
God. I know what I'm doing. I figured out. You know, and if God is not part of your um, beliefs or whatnot, just take God to mean this God, good orderly direction. I'm throwing good
Mm.
direction out the window and saying I
Mm.
got it, and that's form of denial. But one of the other big things that plays a part, as I said, we don't want anybody to know we don't have the perfect family. I don't want anybody to think that I'm less than or I'm stupid for being in this relationship and not leaving. Is that pride, and we're running on pride, and that's a big barrier for a lot of people coming forward. And let me give you another definition for pride: PRIDE. Primary reason I die early. Okay, we need to learn to ask for help. We need to learn to let people know what we need. Because if
That's
we
good.
operate on that pride and ego, we're doing it to ourselves.
That's right. I
Okay.
love that. I love that. So how would individuals get in contact with you if they're interested in doing the rap program?
Okay. Well, my website is answernc.com. Um, and also my phone number, and I don't mind giving it out, 919-670-7738. And I
Give that to
answer
me.
to 919-670-7738.
Okay.
Elliott Palmer. And if you can't reach me at either of those, I work for, have an office at Recovery Communities of North Carolina. I don't know if you can see this. Okay. And Recovery Communities of North Carolina, RCNC, is a drop in center at 824 North Bloodworth Street. Anybody in any stage of their recovery that's seeking some support, you're welcome to just drop in. We have a place where you can just chill out, a safe place to just chill out and lounge area, watch TV, play pool, videos, music, use computers to find resources and whatnot. And if you would like someone to talk to, we have peer support specialists on staff to help you connect with the resources that you need or that will be beneficial to you. And all are welcome, no matter if you're in the middle of the situation, you're in recovery. We're there to help you at whatever stage you're in.
All right. And I'll make sure I add that to the link, that place, so I can have that information. And I
Okay.
just want to say thank you. Go ahead. You was going to say something else?
No, I was saying thank you.
Okay. If you had to close us out, what would you say? What would be your final thoughts for tonight?
My final thoughts, I just want to let everybody know that you are important. Your wellness matters. And there is a way to maintain your wellness and recapture your life. And don't be hesitant to seek support. You had to learn how to walk. It's okay to learn how to walk again. And we love you. We're not here to judge you, and we're here to help you in any way we can. Come and giving me a call helps me. So please call and help me.
I appreciate you so much. Hold on, don't go anywhere. I want to talk back to you. Hold on a second. All right, so Elliott said it better than I ever could. Listen, y'all are important. Y'all are important to us. And your wellness, your recovery, your safety, it matters. Remember, you are the CEO of your own life. You get the right to promote, demote, and terminate anything that's no longer serving you. Stop sitting around waiting for and expecting things to change, but you keep doing the same thing. That is the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting something different. And we are often in denial. And as Elliott said, dang, I forgot that quick. No, I didn't. Um, I forgot what he said. So something, and not even knowing it, knowing I'm lying. Dang. Hold on. Because you know what? He's still in the green room. So let's bring him back, because that's how we can do things around here. Elliott, what was
Yes,
it?
Caleb. Don't even know I am lying.
Don't. That's what I couldn't get. Don't. Hold
Yeah.
on. All right. Hold on a minute. So Elliott said it. Don't even know I'm lying. Y'all get out of denial. Okay. And see, and that's a good key right there for y'all to see. Instead of sitting there and BSing my way through it, I went back and I asked the question. That is what's key. If you don't know, ask somebody. We have given you the resources and the tools. You can go to answernc.com and connect with Elliott. He gave you his phone number so you can reach out to him. He gave you authorization to call him should you need any help. This is the thing. Do not sit there in a situation that you could get yourself out of if you would just raise your hand. We are here to help you. And I'm super excited to say that this episode of the SheShed is sponsored by the Hidden Agency. And they are actually one of the sponsors for the HELP conference. If you have not gotten your ticket for the HELP conference, I encourage you to do so. And also go and support the Hidden Agency. And I will make sure that information is submitted to you, because they are offering holistic mental health care and recovery type programs that will help you, whether you are in domestic violence, whether you are just needing someone to listen to you and to help you to get out of your own thoughts so that you can get on to the life that you was created to have. I love you all, and I look forward to talking with you next week. Bye.